Hey, welcome to my channel. I'm Sam and I got a haircut. Today I want to talk about why I use Robinhood and what I like about it. I want to start off by saying I'm not sponsored by Robinhood, but if you use the link in the description to sign up, we both will get a free stock. So that's actually pretty cool. I got started investing when I was about 17. I had played around with some stock market like simulations, just trading literally on paper. And when I was 17, I opened up my Roth IRA, which sounds like a really good idea and like I was being smart. But what really ended up happening is I opened up this account. I did auto deposits for probably 6 months or less. Then I decided I would rather spend that money. I canceled my auto deposits and then I haven't really deposited to that account since. So a couple years ago, when investing apps were getting pretty popular, I opened up an M1 account, a stockpile account. I think I had a Stash account, an Acorns account, and a Coinbase account. And I really like Stash and Acorns because I set up auto deposits and I was able to save a lot of money just by doing weekly and monthly auto deposit. And of course, roundups with Acorns. And I'll link all of these apps, or at least most of them, in the description. And I'll probably get a kickback. And I think you get free stuff too just for signing up. Like Acorns, I think is $5. Yeah, I don't know what else others do. But check them out anyway if you're interested. So anyway, after about 2 years, I was able to save close to $3,000 between Stash and Acorns. And I had $3,000 that I had put in M1 Finance. And that had gone down to about $2,500 right away within the first couple months. But 2 years later, it was back up around $3,000. So I pretty much didn't do anything by putting my money away. So here comes the interesting part. I'm not very good with money, and I'm actually pretty deep in credit card debt. And I decided to empty out all of these accounts to pay down my balances. But before I get to what actually happened, I want to go back to September, and that's when I opened up my Robinhood account. I had put $600 into it, and I was getting on it pretty actively because Peter and I were racing to see who would make more money. And it was honestly pretty fun. And it will look like more here because it shows my total deposits overall, but it was only $600 at the time. And you can see over about a month, I was able to turn that $600 into more than $1,000. And this was just by investing in different stocks that I felt confident about. And then I started making decisions based on other people's recommendations. I'd been following a guy who does a lot of options purchasing, buying YOLO options that are out of the money, and I'll get into what these are in a different video, but for now just think of them as extreme gambling. So they can either go to $0 and be worthless, or they can go, hundreds of times the amount and make you pretty profitable. Like I've seen them turn, I think, $300 into $3,000 and even higher returns than that, which is pretty impressive. But a lot of these do tend to be losers, and overall I think he was making money, but I definitely wasn't. I watched him make a lot of winning picks, but somehow I only copied the losing picks. And I also made some picks based on comments and even Wall Street bets. And all of this was just a really bad choice. And I ended up turning my $1,000 into less than $400 at one point. At this point, something really clicked. I decided instead of buying all these calls and losing money, I want to be the guy on the other end who's selling them and making money no matter what. And this is where I took a huge risk. Remember that $5,000 I took out from all my other investing apps? Well, I decided if I was able to make 10% off that money every month, and 10% a month is actually a large return. That's getting pretty risky. But I decided if I was able to make about 10% every month, it would be better for me to put that $5,000 into Robinhood instead of putting it towards my credit card debt, where I'm probably paying about 2% every month with my interest rate. And that's what I did. I put my $5,000 in. I actually had about $1,000 left over that I did put towards my debt. And I had $5,600 in Robinhood. It's been going great. The first 2 months I made more than a 30% return per month, which is crazy. I've almost doubled my money, and it's been 2 months, I think, today. I've completely blown past all my expectations, and I would have to make, I think, a little less than 5% this month to have doubled my money in 3 months. I've definitely had some losers in my picks, but overall, they've been winners. I'm hoping to continue this streak and continue gaining money for the most part. I know I'll still have some more losers, but I'm hoping that the winners will continue to outpace those. So anyway, let's go back to Robinhood. I've also used Sink or Swim recently, and I love it for the technical aspect, but for Robinhood, I pretty much know what I'm doing. I love the graph where I can see how my money is going up, and that is a great motivation to keep gaining money. Like, I love looking at this. It's just going straight up. And don't get me wrong, I do love TD Ameritrade, but Robinhood just makes everything so easy and streamlined. Robinhood is great for beginners. I don't necessarily like the desktop interface. Mostly I use the app because I'm able to quickly get out my phone, use it quickly, and then get back to work or whatever else I was doing. I do have Robinhood Gold, which frees up margin, after hours trading, and a couple other things. You don't really need Robinhood Gold at all. It's just I needed it specifically one time for a after hours trade I wanted to make, and I have no real reason to cancel because now I am using margin, which isn't necessarily a good thing to do. So real simple, margin is borrowing money to buy stocks, and if you were to lose your money and that money, you would end up actually owing someone else now for that money that you borrowed. So it's really not a good idea to use margin if you have no idea what you're doing. One last thing about Robinhood is they have no fees for anything. TD Ameritrade charges per contract. It's relatively cheap, but Robinhood has no fees at all, which is pretty nice, even though it's a little bit slower trading-wise. But since I'm not doing day trading, it really doesn't matter to me. So yeah, I think Robinhood's great for beginners. It kind of set me into the market, and I'm going to keep using it for a while. If you want to check out Robinhood, check out the link in the description. And I should tell you, don't do anything without talking to a financial advisor, because I don't know what I'm doing. See you guys in the next video, and I got to make some money. Hey buddy, what should I buy, huh? What stock should I buy? Does that look good to you? Oh, wow, that's a good stock. That's a really good stock, isn't it? There's no more stocks for you. Good boy.